Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer Main Tournament 2021 race. We are in Group AF today. We're looking at both Rywek and Linlinlin, both of which are competing for a chance to win themselves into the bracket stage. This is the pretty much the final match of the winners bracket for the this group. They're in Game 3 right now, so whoever wins this moves on to Game 3. Whoever does not will have one more chance to earn their place in the brackets against Make an X in the lower part of the bracket. So we'll see how this goes. I am Slim Kirby, joined by Ninjembro.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So yeah, as Slim Kirby was saying, we have a really exciting winners bracket match here against two very good runners trying to make their way into the bracket and not have to go down to a losers bracket showdown. What we're going to see here for those who are new to the this year's tournament format, the settings for the entire tournament is hard standard. So we're going to see these runners do the normal castle sequence, get Zelda out of her cell, go to Sanctuary, and go from there, with the uncle guaranteeing to give a weapon, either the bow, fire rod, bombs, red cane, blue cane, hammer, or a sword. But when I said that this is going to be hard difficulty, there's going to be some slight changes to the item pool. You want to go over that for the viewers there, Slim?
Yes, basically for the hard item pool, there are a couple of items that are still added to the game, but at a certain point you will be capped off, or just some items are replaced with something else. For example, the mail upgrades, the armor upgrades of the game, they will not be in this item pool, so our runners will be stuck with green mail for the entire seed. And for the other instances, there are 4 swords added to the pool, but once you get 3 swords, the 4th sword will turn into 20 rupees. And I believe the same goes with some heart pieces and heart containers, as well as the silver arrows as well. So going to be kind of dealing with no major glitches, standard equipment for the duration of this seed, pretty much.
Yep, and interestingly, we got Fire Rod in the very first chest in Link's house, so with Uncle giving us a sword, so these runners have a couple options for weapon here in the opening game.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely going to want to use that Fire Rod for the ball and chain guard, I would imagine. Just to just get rid of him, get him off the map as quickly as possible. But for the most part, going to be seeing a lot of sword strats, I imagine. You'd be used to that just from the vanilla no major glitches speedrun of the game. And you don't have to worry about your ammo or your magic or anything, so you can just use that at your own leisure. See if you can maybe find those bomb drops as well.
Yeah, and alluding to that, the different enemies have different prize packs, so we'll probably see these runners kill a few enemies along the way, hoping to find one of the prize packs where they can get bombs. That way they don't have to make another trip back here into the castle. Doubt we'll see them spend too much time farming prize packs, at least until they get down to the basement with the snakes and the rats.
Yeah, if you familiarize yourself with those prize packs, you get honestly some good intel of basically what will drop bombs and what won't. So if you kind of destroy some enemies here and escape, and you kind of realize, well, there's no bombs in this prize pack, or at least there won't be a convenient way to get bombs from this prize pack, it may be just worth just kind of focusing on getting out of here as quickly as possible, and not really worrying about that until later.
Yeah, and a very good place to see what prize pack you're in is that green guard that they had just killed in that previous room there. Since you're forced to kill him anyway.
Yeah.
Might get some good intel there. See a green rupee.
Yeah, so we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of differentiation right now in terms of our runners. They're going to both roughly make it out of escape around the same time no matter what, but it is definitely interesting to kind of take a look and see what these runners do in this sequence.
Yep.
You can kind of tell how each of them is kind of maximized on that NMG potential if they do happen to speedrun the main game.
Yep. And we did see those fire rod strats that you alluded to earlier on the ball and chain guard there. Good heads up play by both runners.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that you are currently a runner in this tournament. For, I guess, the Uncle Start, what weapon do you tend to try to hope for when you're kind of going through this beginning sequence?
You know, I'm a real fan of a bow start just because it opens up a lot of interesting routing possibilities in the early game, with some runners opting to go straight to Eastern Palace, some runners doing Kakariko first, some, you have some runners that would do Kakariko and all of South Shore, but instead will head to Eastern instead of going South Shore. Like, I just really like the bow start because it opens up a lot of interesting possibilities outside of your normal vanilla, finish the castle, go to Kakariko, go to South Shore, and kind of branch off from there.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
It's also, but as a viewer, it's always fun to see that bomb start because I feel like they're just nobody likes bomb start. Like
Yeah.
when you're the one running.
Right. Really, the only advantage to bomb start is you don't have to worry about farming enemies. You have your bombs
Right.
in the back, but you have to actually make it through the escape with those 10 bombs. So that's another thing you have to consider as well.
Okay, we see Rywek killing some rats. He saw a small magic, so I want to see him kill a couple more rats here, hoping to get a bomb drop.
The rats aren't really cooperating with him too much, though. I think Linlinlin's going to be focusing more on rats and the enemies in these rooms, just to kind of not to worry about navigating through the dark to find them.
We did see a map in Dark Cross there, so we do know that there are going to be 3 items locked behind that bomb. And Rywek getting that bomb drop off one of the rats.
Yeah, now Linlinlin still has a few chances right here, and not from those, but there's still one more room where he can get those bombs.
Yeah, and with how many rats are in here, I'd be shocked to not see a bomb drop, but like you said, definitely possible. Got it on the very last.
And looks like Linlinlin's opting to use the above entrance to this room just because he was in that area. That I think will actually give him a little bit of a extra time leaving this room, as we do find the Ether Medallion inside one of the 3 chests here. We'll have to see later if that's going to be required or not, but could actually be kind of helpful in the early game, potentially if we don't find a lamp or something. That could be a good way to get rid of some enemies in dark rooms, and can also just be a good kind of screen clearing move if you need to use it.
Right. Ever since Quick Swap has entered everybody's options of choice, and it's allowed in this tournament, obviously. You see it used quite frequently in Ganon's Tower in the 4 chest room with the pink skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a real quick way to clear them, not have to worry about them jumping everywhere and you taking damage from the little shooters.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, it looks like we are seeing a simultaneous skip of the lumberjack tree, at least for right now. Probably going to wait till they have boots before they potentially check that location, just to get that intel. As we do see a 10 arrow tree pole, which I believe that would be the level 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Also, wanted to point out the runners. We didn't talk about this earlier, but the runners did both do a map check on their way to escape, and we did see that all Light World dungeons are crystals, with Eastern Palace being one of our 5-6 crystals. So, a lot of Light World going to be happening here in terms of dungeons.
Yeah, if you're someone who kind of wants to just have kind of an easygoing seed, those are 3 dungeons you definitely want to see being crystals, because they don't take too long to complete. There's not a lot of items you need to complete those dungeons, and I believe that was a flute we saw on the island.
That was a flute on the island, so Linlinlin getting that information early as he's going into that shop to pick up his bombs. Rywek decided to go with a little bit more of a traditional approach, has the money that he needs to buy bombs in Kakariko, and is just going to do so there.
So yeah, it'll be a while till we know if that flute's going to come into play or not, but because, I mean, we have 3 pendants in the Dark World at this point, so Meyer could very well be a pendant, but still good information for Linlinlin for sure.
Find a Master Sword in Sarashala's hut, and not much else. And didn't really see anything out of the well on Rywek's side either. He unfortunately didn't get the bombs that he was hoping for, so he had to leave that one chest in the back.
Yeah, and looks like he's going to go ahead and grab that now, or at least check, some of these lower locations. But he does not want to... I imagine he doesn't want to make that purchase of bombs just yet, just in case he can find 3 just while he's in here. But looking like he's going to need to make that play regardless.
He's forced into that purchasing the bombs here.
Mm-hmm.
And we do see Linlinlin heading to South Shore. Not finding much inside the dam.
Did find those 3 bombs, which Rywek would have loved to have had in a different chest, but what can you do?
And Rywek finding a Master Sword in the chicken hut, so we already have knowledge of Tempered Sword, and both of these runners going to get it. And Boots, the flooded item at the dam.
Yeah, that is, I mean, especially if Boots is going to turn up into a Sphere 1 location, like that is something you want to get as soon as possible. I mean, Rywek will more than likely get those boots before too long anyway, but, having those boots will give Linlinlin kind of a head start here. We'll be able to use the boots through some of these early game locations just to get a little extra speed here and there, so definitely a strong advantage, I'd say, for Linlinlin, at least starting out right now.
For sure. And a bow in Mini Motorworm Cave. So this seed's already opening up quite a bit for these runners.
Yes, and I believe with the seed settings that we're currently working with, it largely depends on where the big key is going to end up being in Eastern Palace, but, Eastern Palace could very well be logically completable at this point.
Right. Other than second sword, there's the lamp on Linlinlin's side in the Ice Rod Cave. But as I was saying, other than that second sword for Rywek, Kakariko is coming up empty this seed.
Yeah, definitely didn't seem like it paid off too much. Again, he'd be getting that second sword at some point anyway, whenever he goes to Sahasrara, so... Yeah, didn't really come up with too much here, but we'll be going South Shore immediately. We'll get those boots, and after playing a lot of Randomizer with Rywek in the past, he loves those boots. He's going to be very, very happy to find those.
Yep. So Linlinlin sequence breaking the Waterfall Cave, not getting a whole lot for their trouble. Although, even for top runners, you like seeing a few heart containers early. So getting that 6th heart in that cave, you're still feeling good about it.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, we are playing with the hard item pool settings, which means we will not get the full range of hearts in this seed. I believe the max we'll get is actually 14, which, is still a healthy amount for sure, but, that a lot of hearts will be removed from the pool because of that, so still going to be working with limited health here in this in these settings.
Linlinlin getting a nice 300 rupees off the hobo, taking the rest of his life savings.
And I'm going to jump back out of the water right here. I think Linlinlin is more than likely going to go back to the Eastern area. Now that we have the bow and the lamp, everything in Eastern Palace is logically accessible. And, may as well complete a crystal dungeon while you're in the area. So that is going to be Linlinlin's next play. We'll see if Rywek kind of heads in that area as well once he kind of gets the... we got the bow, obviously, already, but we'll be getting the lamp shortly as well.
So we do have Linlinlin in Eastern Palace. Rywek also setting up the water walk, so going to be getting some of those quick checks there.
Yeah, and if Rywek does get that 300, he will actually be able to check what's on King Zora's, a check that Linlinlin did not make. So that could potentially be kind of an advantage Rywek could actually take advantage of here.
Also worth noting now, Aga is very much in logic.
Oh, yep, definitely. And you know, we haven't really found a lot of Dark World items at this point, so that very well could be the case. We might be looking into maybe going into the Dark World, into Palace of Darkness to find our basically ongoing chain of progression here.
Probably not a whole lot in Eastern Palace. We did find one item so far, but it was just a couple bombs. We do already have the big key. Linlinlin, knowing that he's going to be checking the vanilla big key location anyway, just opting to skip the big chest for now, come back to it.
And does look like Rywek is also skipping that King Zora check for right now, which, you know, is understandable. He was at Hobo. He could probably find ways to route in Zora a little more efficiently later on. So, going to be putting a pause on that. We'll have to see what he has later on.
So Rywek about to get his tempered sword here.
You also find out that the green pendant is actually going to be in the Palace of Darkness.
Even more reason to just dread the fact that this could be an Agaseed, just to go dip into Pendant Pod.
I mean, at this point, yeah, that could very well happen. We do just find the Bombos medallions. That's 2 medallions that we're taking care of now. But once again, that doesn't really progress the seed. That's just kind of something that, you know, could be something of importance later on. But for right now, it's just kind of another option we can use to screen nuke, basically.
Yep. And Rywek now entering Eastern Palace as Linlinlin is on their way to the Armos Knights.
And we are still at only 2 items in Eastern at this point, correct?
Yes, so we are going to find a third item here on the boss.
So yeah, this is kind of interesting. At this point, after we finish Eastern Palace, I think there's really only one item that's still kind of left on the table as far as Light World is concerned.
Yeah, that'd be Gina's Cave.
Yeah, Gina's Cave, King Zora, you know, while it is technically available, it would be out of logic because we don't have the gloves or the flippers. So we do get a heart container. So honestly, at this point, you know, making that Aga play not necessarily the worst idea.
There is also Bonk Rocks.
Yes, that is true. We do have Bonk Rocks as well.
So I would not be surprised to see Linlinlin take a save and quit here and head straight to Bonk Rocks, especially as they haven't even done Kakariko yet.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing that from Linlinlin. Actually, maybe we won't be seeing Bonk Rocks, because we're going to be doing kind of a just regular clockwise.
Oh, and you know, I don't think we saw library or race game from Rywek's side.
Oh, that's true.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think Rywek did actually opt just to save and quit from just the normal part of Kakariko. So yeah, we still have these checks as well. And yeah, library, we can fully get that item as we see just rupees on the race game.
Yeah, and I can't really blame Rywek for that play either, because he was in the basement of Thieves' Hideout. It's quite a bit of a walk to get one item. And there's those flippers.
Okay, so that will put King Zora in logic, and also the Zora Ledge item as well. So that will add 2 more checks before kind of running out of stuff. But you still got to look at the facts here. We're still down 3 items for the Dark World. So
yeah. Yeah, all signs right now are pointing to this likely being an Agaseed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are definitely some items that could open up and make it, it could stretch it out a little bit longer, make it less likely. For instance, if we find like a glove at Bonk Rocks with, the hook shot, for example, on Zora, would give us a bunch of Death Mountain access, which could delay possible Aga play. Because as a runner, you don't want to do Aga unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah, like definitely, I can agree with that.
And Rywek heading into his almost fight.
Ooh, does manage to quick cycle the Armos Knights.
So Linlinlin here will be able to route up towards Sanctuary from here, get Bonk Rocks, and then go up and see what's on Lumberjack to get that information. Maybe this is an Agaseed regardless. We might even get our Dark World access some other way.
Yeah, this is true. I honestly didn't even think about that for a second, but yeah, we have not seen what's on Lumberjack Ledge, so that very well could be an item of importance. But much like Rywek, Linlinlin getting to save and quit out of the Basement of Thieves hideout and go straight back to the overworld, and it looks like he is going...
Zora,
yes, that would be where he's going. Right.
didn't see much of anything in Bonk Rocks, did it look like? And yeah, Rywek making that play to check the Lumberjacks. And I'm not 100% certain, but that looked like a Moon Pearl to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought it looked like as well. So yes, we will have... I mean, that's basically our Dark World right there. We beat Aga, we get the Moon Pearl from there. So yeah, that's pretty much what this is looking like. And Rywek's going to immediately hop right into that. He knows that, this is something I have to do, and might as well get it over with. And yeah, this makes sense.
Zora just stealing a bunch of money, but Linlinlin saying, no thanks, I'd like my money back, and doing a hard reset.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart play there by Linlinlin, because with that, they preserve all the money that they need for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, definitely. And with this, Linlinlin is going to check Bonk Rocks and pretty much get the same information that Rywek just did. Interestingly enough, despite getting those boots as early as Linlinlin did, I'd say almost Rywek kind of has the small bit of a lead here, at least in terms of just general item intel.
Right. Now, it does look like Linlinlin isn't even looking at Lumberjack, instead just making the Aga play right off the bat. Saying, I have 2 checks left. And realistically, one. That one check being Agina, the other check being information at Lumberjack. Linlinlin's probably thinking, most likely there's something at Lumberjack. I'm not even going to bother scouting it.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, if you get the Moon Pearl at Agina's, for example, you still can't use it until you go to the Dark World, so...
Right.
And, the glove would be realistically the only thing that would actually give our runners more stuff to do in the Light World, so just kind of playing the odds here, so I think this is a very sensible play in that regard.
I'm curious to see when Rywek, makes his way back to the library for those flippers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we technically do not know if flippers will even like be required in a sense, but
If our other two pendants are Swamp and Mire,
yeah,
the seed could be beatable just by sequence breaking Ice Palace with a fake flipper.
right. So that Rywek is going to enter the Aghanim 1 fight. Aghanim is known for having a really obnoxious blue energy ball attack that, randomly he does decide to use that attack, as he did right there. And thankfully in Randomizer, at least in this version of the Randomizer, it's set so every seed, the basically range of the blue ball attack will be the same for anyone who does that. So if Rywek gets 3, so will Linlinlin. So that should not affect the race at any point.
Somebody asking in chat, where were flippers? Flippers were at library.
Getting a lot of blue energy balls today.
And there is the last hit on Aghanim for Rywek. Almost certainly we'll go down and check the pyramid item first. And just sees 20 rupees.
Yep, so with that, he is going to head back to the Sanctuary, go up to that Lumberjack tree to grab his Moon Pearl. And after that, I imagine he's going to probably go basically another save and quit, go back to the Dark World, and go to Palace of Darkness. That seems to be where the seed is kind of pointing us right now. We have the bow, so shouldn't run into any bow lock problems. We have the lamp, so basically all the items except the boss are logically accessible right now.
Yep. And there's a lot of different things that we could find there. My guess is on Hookshot, as Hookshot will give access to West Dark World with those flippers. But, we could find a glove, we could find hammer, we could find book. I mean, there's a lot of items that we can find there that just open up just a little bit of progression.
Do get a map check, as we do have our other 2 pendants. Unfortunately, Skullwoods and Davestown. So we will be needing those flippers for this seed, and I believe the other red crystal was in Misery Mire, so that flute's going to be required too.
We do see Rywek heading over to Palace of Darkness as Linlinlin is about to blind check Lumberjack and get their Moon Pearl.
And so this will actually save a couple of transitions on Linlinlin's part by kind of making that kind of bold estimated guess that, yeah, this is going to be something.
Yep, we're seeing Linlinlin make this exact same play.
And yep, we are indeed bow locked, but we have the bow that's not a problem, as we just get a big key from the first chest and pawn.
So curious to see if a major progression item is found, say, in one of these next two chests. If either runner decides to just leave pod, or if both runners will just clear everything they can, just to hopefully not have to come back at all.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. I think at this point, since you don't have the hammer, I mean, at the very least, like, see if you can clear everything except the boss at this point. Just, get all that taken care of. Don't even think about Helmasaur King until the hammer pops up.
Right. And we do just see 2 small keys in the checks over here. Regarding the pod key logic, we know that there are a minimum of 4 small keys in the first 6 chests, due to the way the locked door layout works in this dungeon. It is possible to see 5 or 6, but we know that there will be a minimum of 4, of which we've already seen 2.
Mm-hmm. So Rywek's gonna check the big key chest and find one of the small keys.
Yep. Jump down here to the basement and get this last chest here, and yet another small key. And a bottle. Well, that's the unintended progression that we might be seeing.
That's true. Like, you come all the way to pod expecting to find something like, oh, a bottle. Okay, a fetch quest for the item we're looking for.
If that's the only item we get out of here, that's worth noting. That would be incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Although that would send Rywek back for his flippers, and there's the hammer.
Okay, so, at this point, kind of has that thing we were talking about earlier, where it's like, we have the hammer, we can complete this dungeon. It is also the green pendant. That is also something to think about. So, could spend a little bit of extra time, and, maybe we do get an item out of here and from green pendant. Who knows?
Right.
Rywek sets up the hammer jump here. Nice.
Flippers were in the library, which Rywek had not even scouted, so he's not aware that the flippers are there. And the flippers do lead to the flute on Lake Hylia Island, which is required for the seed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks like Rywek is actually going to be making his way to the boss to take it out. That green pendant is just a little too appealing right now.
Somebody mentioning in chat, we're not really sure why Rywek skipped library. While that's true that we don't know for sure, my hypothesis is that because he came into Kakariko from Lost Woods, did not have any bombs, so had to go down to the shop, buy bombs, and do Kakariko from south to north, finishing in Thieves' Hideout basement. So probably saw that it wasn't worth walking up the staircase out of that hideout all the way down out of Kakariko to check one item and have access to one more.
Mm-hmm. And that could actually work out pretty well for him. I'd say he's about probably that walking distance ahead of Linlinlin right now. So, later on could manage to pull up the mirror or something, and while he's kind of going through those Dark World checks on the left side, could be a very quick mirror just to check that library location and grab it there, and just be on his merry way. So.
Yep. And Rywek about to head into his Homicide fight.
And with Tempered Sword, Phase 2 should be a lot faster than what you would do with No Major Glitch's vanilla equipment here, so it should be a relatively easy fight for Rywek.
Yep, 4 Tempered Sword swings, and Helmasaur is down.
So not only will that give us our green pendant, and it'll also give us just a rupee, so green pendant, may have to check that at some point. Could lead us to another progression item, but we'll have to see about that later.
Yeah. I mean, that hammer gives us access to the South Dark World checks, so likely going to see Rywek head there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, taking a look at our pendant and crystal layout again, pedestal is fully in logic right now, so there could very well be an item on there just due to the fact that, you know, we have all the items we need to actually make that check.
Yeah, I mean, not quite yet since we can't get to Thieves Town or Skull Woods.
Oh,
but I mean,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Like, that's a glove or a hook shot away at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but first glove very well could be on pedestal if we find the hook shot.
And that's not an item you see very often on the pedestal, so that would be pretty insane.
And there's the hook shot. So
okay, so now the pedestal's in logic. Maybe not for Rywek, but because I think you still need don't you still need a glove to get to that hook shot point? Or
no, you need the glove or flippers. So you are correct. Rywek still can't get over there.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I've had the honor of doing commentary for some pretty interesting races so far this tournament, so pedestal glove would not be surprising. Linlinlin heading and turning in that green pendant right away. Oh, checkpointing out, you can get there with the hammer, so it is possible.
Oh, right.
There's that one hammer peg there.
That's true, yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Big game, just giving us 10 rupees. And now Linlinlin heading to do those south checks.
Looks like Rywek's going to be also heading back to Dark World from this angle as well.
Yep. Going to head and do that north route. Meanwhile, Linlinlin about to get their hook shot. And nothing there on Bumper Ledge.
So yeah, we got 2 items in Skull Woods, we got 4 in Thieves Town, and then 3 in the surrounding area of Thieves Town. Time's running out on where those gloves could be, so... You know, we still have Agina as well. That check is also still just withstanding.
Yeah. Agina was the answer the entire time, and we just didn't know it.
Yeah.
There's our... I'm pretty sure that was our first green 20 of the seed.
Yeah, unless there was one we just like missed that was on a ledge somewhere or something. Yeah, that's the first one we've actually seen acquired. So those green 20s, we talked about the hard item pool earlier. That's basically what those removed items are replaced by. So, you know, that very well could have been our silver arrows. That could have been one of our mail upgrades. That could have been one of our swords as well. Both of our runners do have tempered sword. So yeah, so that could have been
been the
those...
second bow.
Yep.
Yep, and then Linlinlin heading to make this same play that Rywek's making right now. So let's have a little bit of discussion in chat over whether or not Rywek is ahead. Linlinlin has a few checks completed that Rywek does not, which is basically what's leading to the little discrepancy.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some of those checks are nothing, as we know, so unless Rywek goes out of his way for Zora, that's a little bit of made-up time there that he has over Linlinlin.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the only thing of note of those checks that Linlinlin made was the library, which does have our flippers. And by extension, the flippers will also lead to the flute at some point as well. So it kind of depends on basically when Linlinlin would hit kind of that theoretical go mode state, because, you know, you got to assume if Rywek keeps finding items, like, you know, still going to be looking potentially for those flippers, and if he never gets back to race game, that could be kind of a detriment to him.
Yeah, those flippers are in a location that at this point in the seed could very well be a near last location for Rywek.
Right.
If we don't find the mirror anytime soon, and we find other items that lead to a lot of progression.
Yeah. Right now, as someone in chat actually brought up, the kind of one saving grace of that right now is that bottle we did find in Palace of Darkness that will open up the sick kid check, which that's pretty close to the library, so gotta imagine that would be Rywek's time to check that location again.
Right. Yeah, I think it just comes down to, like, you know, when are you heading to sick kid?
Right. Could be a case where, like, after Rywek finishes these pendant dungeons, like, maybe he'll check pedestal, and after that, that'll be a good segue. Well, okay, this was nothing. Let's check it sick kid, and also check library, and okay, well, there's those flippers. So that could be a theoretical right there.
And somebody's pointing out in chat, there's always that slight possibility that Rywek, you know, incorrectly thinks that he's already checked it.
Right.
Which I doubt is the case, but it does happen to runners from time to time.
It most certainly does. It's happened to me before whenever I've run one of these rando seeds, so it is very well a possibility.
And Rywek about to head into his blind fight.
See how well he stays on script here.
So far, so good.
Very nicely done. Does take a hit, but, you know, still makes it through on script pretty much.
Okay, so there was some item in the attic that we did not see, so we'll see it here on Linlinlin's side momentarily. There was nothing at Zora. Well, yeah, technically, Red Ruby. And it was just a heart piece in the attic, so Skull, Woods, or Pedestal being our answer.
Yep, that's what it's looking like. And you know, like, I mean, obviously, like, the more items we check that don't give out the mitts, the more likely it is on the pedestal. But you gotta think, it's funneling us really hard through these pendant dungeons, so you almost gotta think that it is gonna be there at this point.
Yeah. And so far, just keys. Coming out of Skull Woods.
There's another Light World check that could put Rywek closer to the flippers. So you do get the magic powder.
Alright, so Rywek heading back. So now I'm curious. Okay, so Rywek is checking this chest on the way. I was curious to see if at this point he decides to just rush Mothula. Because you almost have to be feeling at this point that, like, you're making a pedestal play.
Yeah. It's honestly, like, at this point, it's like, you know, I can't get any other crystal dungeons right now. Like, the only available dungeons to complete are pendants. Like, as someone said in chat, like, even if gloves happens to be the last item in here, at this point, like, you're still making a pedestal check at this point, just because it's basically just adding that to the totals regardless.
Yeah. And there are just so many items that can be on pedestal right now. Like, even if it's not the glove like we're talking about, we're looking at glove, red cane, ice rod, mirror. Like, so many progression items can just be sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is the seed that gave us this particular item payout at this point in the game. Like, there's got to be something on there. Like, there's a reason why we've gotten this very specific load of items.
Yep. And Rywek getting a little low on health here.
I know Rywek does have some bottles. I don't know if any of them have any potions or anything. Is able to take, you know, one extra hit from Mothula here.
I want to say one of the potions is, or, you know, I think one is blue. Yep. There it is. We're seeing it right there.
Okay, able to make it through the fight.
And the last item is in that chest under the bridge.
Of course it is.
I swear after today, every single pair of runners is going to ask not to have me as commentary.
There's the
There's a glove.
At the very end of the chain. Just shy of the pedestal. Now, the other glove could be there, though. So
yeah, there's still a lot of things that could just be on pedestal right now.
And you know, that glove is going to help Rywek right here. He is going to be heading towards Kakariko from the south, which will allow him to pick up those flippers. He's also going to more than likely check the magic bat and the sick hit as well, and then probably check pedestal right after. Let's finish the place we now have access to.
Getting roughed up a little bit by one of these post-Aghanim Kakariko guards.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those flippers.
And, I think Rywek, he thinks that, oh, I could have gotten these earlier, but at the same time, his routing's worked out pretty well for him regardless. So I don't think he's really even it's like I didn't really need those flippers. So he's probably feeling okay with that.
It's what did those flippers really open? Zora checks, which you could have just done earlier anyway.
Right.
Without the flippers. I'm seeing a little chatter in chat about the play that Rywek is making. I guess especially in light of the fact that now all of Light World Death Mountain is open right now.
Yep.
So we're really just seeing a big commit to the the pedestal play, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just, cleaning up a few things along the way that he kind of missed out on, or in the case of this sick kid in the Magic Bat, some things he just got access for. So, in a sense, he's almost just kind of making, those little checks a much bigger check with, routing in library and race game along with it. So, kind of worked out to his benefit, honestly.
We did see a shovel from sick kid.
Yeah. Thankfully, that's not too hard to check along the way. Just, save and quit Link's house. It's right there. As we are going to see what's on the pedestal, we have... Ooh.
The cape.
That's... we know what Bumper Ledge has. It's nothing important, but that's a good safety item to have. That's a very good safety item.
And if we're talking logic, Spike Cave is in logic now?
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, that does open.
It very well could be that intended progression. Rywek just committing to this this loop here and not getting anything out of the dig spot.
Okay, well, like you said, gonna be heading straight to the mountain at this point, I'm sure. Yep, Rywek already has the hook shot equipped for the mountain, East Death Mountain checks, so it is likely we're seeing from him. Linlinlin having a bit of lag in the Lost Woods here. Not checking that shovel, actually, and, kind of leaving those other Cat Creek... Oh, yeah, I think he's going south here to check those now. No, he's going to Death Mountain. So, yeah, he will have kind of those loose squares of Magic Bag, Sick Kid, and the shovel, but not the worst things to leave out there once we get the flute. Those will be easily checked from that.
Just a little money from the old man. And just a heart container on Spectacle Rock. We'll see what's in the cave here. The red boomerang.
Ooh, I think Rywek's following
going straight straight into Spike Cave.
In this tournament alone, I've seen so many required items here at Spike Cave. So
Linlinlin making the same play. This could just be a case of Rywek feeling behind, and just kind of going on little Hail Marys here. I don't really think you should feel too far behind right here. I mean,
don't-
the
I don't
seed
think
is
so
just
either.
brutal.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like we said before, the only item he really missed early on was the flippers, and as we see, they didn't really yield anything, and, you know, those items he could have got at any point regardless, so he's kind of stuck to the routing that's just kind of worked for him, so I don't think he's feeling too bad, honestly. I think at this point, when you're up against kind of a tough opponent like Linlinlin, both these runners, as we established, are really, really good runners. They've been not only part of the community for a while, but also have been, you know, big players in these past tournaments.
We have the mitts.
And yeah, we do get the mitts there. I think it's just a case of Rywek just trying to, you know, just play the game, see if maybe he can grab a couple of lucky grabs while still kind of following the logical progression here. And, you know, both runners seem to be doing very, very well with kind of both of those types of thinking.
Mushroom and a shield. You know, this seed sure is sending these runners on every fetch quest imaginable.
Yeah. Okay, so Rywek is... both Rywek and Linlinlin are going to be checking the Tower of Hera next for, believe it or not, their second crystal. We've defeated a lot of bosses here, but only one of them have been for a crystal so far.
The big key in the basement here. Bumper ledge was, I believe, a heart container.
Yeah, it was nothing of importance for sure.
Rywek getting a real good hair pot there. Lin going to follow suit. Ooh, Rywek getting knocked down, but fortunately not falling too far down the tower.
Yeah, the type of thinking you need to be kind of using here. You know, you get knocked down, you get right back up again, and just that's what he's doing.
So, yeah, both runners did skip Floating Island, but probably because as soon as they're done here in Hera, they're heading back over that way to do the Dark Death Mountain checks.
Mm-hmm.
So they can just scout that on their way to the Turtle Rock pegs.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how the Moldorm RNG fares with both these runners. Linlinlin actually kind of taking a step ahead here after Rywek got knocked down the floor, so... Ooh, Rywek, careful. Okay. Ooh, man. Moldorm was not playing around with Rywek today.
Yeah. And I'll be the first to admit I kind of lost, like I wasn't paying attention for the small chest on the upper floor, so I don't... Okay, Linlinlin's going back in. We do have an item in the basement.
Yeah, I believe it was like either the map or compass.
And Rywek going for this item as well. Both runners just being very thorough with their checks here.
Yeah, at this point, it'll be interesting to see who does maybe decide to maybe break away a little bit, maybe do something different, or, you know, maybe possibly think about skipping something, because they're both going to be probably on this same track for a good part of this seed now.
Yeah, Linlinlin taking a bunch of intentional damage here to set up for a death warp.
Oh yeah, and Rywek will not be doing that, so... Oh, now he's taking some hits. Oh, nope, still destroying him.
And we just see some rupees. Yeah, so Linlinlin gaining a little bit of time again here. By taking that death warp.
And around the spiral he goes.
And a green 20.
Yep, another removed item, or at least item we are at max capacity on, potentially. Well, there's one of our rods. You're gonna need the mirror for that. But yeah.
So that mirror really locking a lot of this seed right now. And we can open Turtle Rock, so maybe, just maybe, we'll find Red Cane just somewhere terrible. Hear me out. With Mirror on Laser Bridge.
Oh, okay, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, I like it. But yeah, because we do not have that Red Cane, cannot check anything in Turtle Rock at this point, so gonna leave that on hold for now as we check out Super Bunny Cave next.
Yeah, there really aren't any bad locations left. That's true, chat.
They both give each other a high five as one goes in and the other goes out.
See what Hookshot Cave has here for us. There's that mirror.
Oh, there's that mirror, and by extension, there is our ice rod and flute as well, and the book.
And the book. So we're really just looking for the cane at this point. And possibly Quake.
Yeah, gonna need the intel on Misery Mire.
Oh no. Rywek down to only one bomb.
Oh gosh, that is not... Yeah, he's gonna need another bomb to... Well, okay, at the very least, you know, it is the ice rod. We only need that for one thing. And we'd be coming back up here for that thing. So he can afford to leave that behind, at least for now, and get it when he comes back up. He'll just need to remember to pick that up again.
Yeah, there's a lot of places he can just go grab a quick bomb. I mean, he could just go right into the front of Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Getting just a piece of heart off Ether Tablet, so probably want to see both runners here rush to their flute.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's what we're kind of looking like here. It looks like Rywek's actually... I know, he's just portaling. That makes sense. So yeah, could be going for the flute. Or could be going to Swamp.
Yeah. This is a fine play. I mean, you have to do Swamp anyway.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah, this does make sense, because, I mean, you know, obviously we still need the Mire dungeon intel of what we need to get in there, but we know where Ice Rod and Flute are going to be at this point, so, you know, if we find what we need in here, we can just start go-moding everything after that.
And just another piece of heart on Bombos. So both runners heading into Swamp here, and there's
Oh,
Quake,
there's
so
Quake.
we are Red Cane from Go mode.
Pretty much. And yeah, at this point, it's looking like, there's a pretty clear path of what you kind of want to check along the way here. I mean, we know that we're not going to be finding Samaria and Turtle Rock. No possible way that could be here in these settings. So it's just a matter of, okay, after Swamp, I grab the flute. Ice Palace is right there. After I'm done with that, let's just mirror and flute over to the desert area and the Mire area. Check those locations, and if Red Cane doesn't show up yet, then there might be like some one-off out there. But pretty clear path to the end at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, the only divergence we're likely to see at this point from either of these runners is whether or not both of them decide to just do nothing but dungeons, or if either of them kind of route in a couple overworld checks along the way.
Yeah.
Like there are some obvious checks that you do. Like they're both likely going to do Mire Shed before even going into desert.
Right. Yeah.
That is, unless they find the cane just right here in Swamp.
And into a very interesting situation here with obviously no Kane, and Rywek not having any bombs, was unable to do the diver down setup to get through Slot Palace, so I had to open the back the normal way.
And finding a cane, just unfortunately not the correct one. Too terribly familiar with these runners and their tendencies, but are we likely? Do you think we're likely to see either of them go back in for the left side item?
It's hard to say. I was honestly thinking that myself, because we're at that point where, they're obviously a couple rooms apart right now, but we're in a position where skips could be huge. Both runners have not seen what's on left side Swamp and could opt to just kind of skip that, hoping that maybe we'll find Kane elsewhere, like not in these checks. So I'm actually not sure here. We'll obviously see Rywek's call here in a minute when he goes back out to the front here. He is going on. So yeah, it seems like there was only just one item on left side Swamp. Like, if you have two items over there, that's probably a case where it's like, I probably shouldn't skip this. But with one, you could kind of make the argument where it's like, well, it's just one item. I need to make a play here. I'm up against a very tough opponent. Let's see if maybe I can make this work. And it looks like Linlinlin's also thinking the same thing.
Yep, headed to pick up the mirror, using the mirror to pick up the flute. And then, as you said, right here at Ice Palace. Gonna probably jump right in. Okay, Linlinlin opting for the save and quick. Gonna go activate that flute.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. That would make sense to do that. But Rywek here is actually, he has not checked the Zora area. Now that I'm thinking about that. So that could very well be something he's potentially thinking about as well.
All right, and we are getting an activated flute here on Linlinlin side with Rywek and Ice Palace. So little bit of divergence.
Yeah, at this point, I'd say this divergence is pretty huge as well. Like, I mean, if
It really depends on where Linlinlin takes this activated flute.
Right. Oh, he still needs to make these checks here in the village. I think he's going to do that first. Just to quickly address something in chat, Rywek is missing the ice rod, but he does know where it is. Just did not have enough bombs to pick that item up, but we'll be able to pick it up along the way once he goes back up to Turtle Rock. It's right there on the floating island. It's Turtle Rock adjacent. He'll be okay there.
I do like that Rywek decided to go in and purchase a bomb capacity upgrade.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. You know, with no Canis Amaria, once again, gonna have to probably use the bomb jump. So, you know, get ready for that. You'll also have some bombs for that ice rod pickup later, so very, very good play by him.
And we are seeing the Meyer area play from Linlinlin.
Okay, so at this point it comes down to, like, you know, assuming the Canis Amaria is in one of these two areas, if it's an Ice Palace, Rywek, I think, would have the advantage here. If it's in the Meyer area or desert, or Meyer itself, Linlinlin has the advantage.
Alright, so not in Meyer's shed. Yeah, this really is our first major divergence by these two runners.
Yeah, I mean,
there were very minor ones early in the seed.
Yeah, like the beginning of the game, kind of the light world checks. I feel like those, like you know, there will be divergences, but you know, at some point you're going to cover the same ground before too long. That's just the way early light world is. So
yep.
Here, this is the true, real first divergence we have for sure.
And Rywek now being greeted with plenty of bombs just to kind of, you know, remind him. So Linlinlin making the play, finding that big key on the desert torch and heading straight to Landmo. Logic here being, you know, if Landmo has the cane, they don't waste any time doing those extra checks in the front of desert. And if the cane isn't here, you don't really lose a ton of time.
Yeah, you don't. Desert's very quick, so it's something you can just very easily just walk back in with no issue whatsoever.
And just a map from Landmo.
And just a map from the Freezor chest. Finds another red item, but not the red item Rywek was looking for.
And Rywek heading into the Cold Stare fight here. Opting to open up with the Bombos.
And then they'll give him some fire rod shots to work with if he sees that it's necessary.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a play to make, you know. If you can get Cold Stare into the corner, even with Tempered Sword, it's a pretty easy fight. But having that magic as backup in case something goes a little wrong and the eyes get separated, you can just really beat him down quick with some fire rod shots.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we got a blue boomerang as item 1. And just a piece of heart.
So Desert Palace is not our answer, so at this point, like, we have 2 potential items in Misery Mire, which that looks like, I think we also have a Checkerboard Cave as well.
Yep.
And have a bunch of kind of mirror and mitts checks in the overworld.
Now, I thought Rywek already checked the hobo. Was I mistaken?
I don't think he... Oh, he did, yep. Whoops. He was just making sure the hobo was okay, that's it.
Yeah, he little welfare check.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna check King's Tomb here. This is a check we... Oh, we're both seeing...
Yeah. Now, Linlinlin dropped off the mushroom first. That way, they can now just flute right back over to the witch's hut. Pretty nice play there. Because if you know you're probably going to be checking King's Tomb anyway, you might as well do it, like, you know...
Yeah, while you're...
Lessen your screen transitions, and just a piece of heart.
Yeah, Rywek needs to turn in, or not turn in, but turn on the flute here, so that's what he's going to do in here.
Alright, Linlinlin. Heading on into Ice Palace.
So what Rywek does right here could be very important. If he flutes away to Mire, like, you know, he'll be obviously doing what Linlinlin just did, but was kind of in the immediate area to start working on some of those mirror locations that we haven't seen yet. And at this point, it's looking like that's probably where Arcane's going to be, unless it's in Misery Mire itself.
Right. I do still think there's that possibility that one or both of these runners go to do Smith Chain before dipping Caneless Mire.
Right.
But I can also see that Mire play just as easily.
Yeah, at this point, I think Rywek might be more tempted to check Mire just because he's in the area and, like, you know, that just...
He already did Ice Palace, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, Rywek gonna do the same thing Linlinlin did. Gonna check Lamno first before checking the other side of Desert Palace.
And Rywek about to head into his Lamo fight. Linlinlin almost going into autopilot there and forgetting to pull that tongue. So many runners now just used to doing Icebreaker at this point.
Right, right. Okay, so there's crystal number 5 for Rywek. We'll not be able to get those other 2 crystals until we get that cane.
Ice Rod is on Floating Island.
Yep, and Rywek does have the knowledge that it is there, so that'll be a very quick pickup for him when he goes back up the mountain for Turtle Rock. So he is not at all worried about that. He is just worried about where the heck is this cane, and let me find it so I can finish this game and potentially win myself to brackets.
So for Samaria, we have Meyer, we have Smith Chain, Hammer Pegs, Cave 45, Graveyard Ledge. I want to say that's it. Rywek has not checked Zora, but Linlinlin has, so we know it's not there. Oh, and Catfish.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and both runners have not checked Agina.
Could it be there this whole time?
Been on Agina this whole time. I think I'll just walk away from my computer. We're about to find out.
Okay, that 1 hour, 20-minute check of Agina's Cave.
And just a green 20.
Yeah, I figure if you do happen to find the cane there again this time in the seed, you don't even know what to think. Like, it's like, well, this is such an early location. How has my opponent not finished at this point?
Linlinlin making the Catfish play, possibly?
And seeing the mushroom from Rywek. Super hard item pool. You only get one cane. I don't know if that would work.
Graveyard Ledge first here. So yeah, it looks like we're seeing Linlinlin saving the Meyer dip for absolute last location. And Rywek finally going to turn in that green pendant.
Wow. There it is.
There is the red cane at Graveyard Ledge. So at 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 48 seconds, Linlinlin is in go mode.
And at this point, he is going to get the head start on Rywek here. And like he already has the advantage of already having Ice Rod in his possession. So.
And Rywek is heading into Meyer.
Yeah, so the ball is definitely in Linlin's court right now.
Yeah, you really don't, you really do hate to call a race way in advance because a lot can happen, but this is looking like Linlinlin's race to lose at this point.
Yeah. And that's just the way it is. Like in any other randomizer seed, this could have been the answer. Like this could have been...
Absolutely.
It could have been just in Meyer. So you really can't say, like, Rywek made a bad decision here. It was just unfortunately the one that did not work in this particular instance.
Yeah, I forget who it was I was talking with one day after one of my races, I believe. But the caliber of the runners in this tournament, and with how brutal Rando can just be, you really could almost just flip coins to figure out the entire outcome for the entire tournament.
Oh, for sure.
Like, obviously, that's oversimplifying things a little bit, and there is a level of execution that's to be had there. But there is a lot of luck involved in this game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I guess just to quickly summarize here, this is a Game 3 of the winner's side of the bracket from Group AF, which means that whoever wins this race will be moving on to the bracket stage of this tournament. The loser will unfortunately not move on just yet, but still has another chance. On the other side of the bracket, Megan X is awaiting either of the two runners to face off in one final match of the series to determine the second person from this group moving on. So, you know, all things come down to basically that race. Both of these runners could make it in the brackets.
Yeah.
So. And I believe Megan X was actually the opponent Rywek beat to get to this point. So, you know,
a rematch.
Yep. So possible. It will be a rematch in that case. But yeah, that'll definitely, you know, could still win himself in here.
We are seeing the Smith chain from Rywek, so, you know, we're just unfortunately seeing him make the wrong guesses here.
Yeah.
Every wrong guess is, you know, more time that Linlinlin gains.
Yep, exactly. So with 6 crystals in his possession, Linlinlin going to be climbing the mountain once more for the final time. So he can take on Turtle Rock, then Ganon's Tower, and then Ganon himself. That is his path to victory right now.
Amusing how this turned into a oops, all dungeon seed.
I know. Yeah, for those who just walked in on this race, all dungeons were cleared by both runners in this case. And no, there was not an item on pedestal. It's just kind of the way this seed worked out. Funneled them through Aginum to get to the Dark World, find basically our kind of progression in Palace of Darkness. You know, beat it while we were there, and then our first glove upgrade and the last of our main Dark World items was very deep in Skull Woods. Yep. So, quite literally, you know, it was just on their path to clear all the dungeons leading to that point. Pedestal did not have anything except the Magic Cape, which did not yield anything, but will be a nice safety at the very least.
Yeah, nice item to have, but not what you're looking to get off a blind pedestal pull.
No, definitely not.
$300 in the purple chest. Half magic in Turtle Rock. Oh, you are always glad to find half magic.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Rywek heading back to the Dark World here. Curious to see if he heads over to Graveyard Ledge first, or if he heads straight up to Catfish, considering that he has Catfish and the Zora chain. And the fact that he has that mirror out tells me that he is going to do the Catfish Zora checks.
Yep, that has just a little more weight in terms of items right now for him, so that's what's kind of pulling him in that direction. But after this, I think Graveyard Ledge is it. I don't think he has any other checks on the menu, except Left Side Swamp, but at this point, you have to save that for last. Like, you've made the play to gamble that it's not there, so...
Rywek seeing the wrong red item on Zora Ledge and about to get another wrong red item from Zora himself. And Rywek.
Yeah, I think he just realized that, oh wait, yeah, they may have just been there for the flute. That may have been just,
Yeah. And Linlinlin heading to the back of Turtle Rock here. Finding yet another one of our green 20s. Although at this point we are likely to find many green 20s as these runners are at 14 hearts.
Yeah. So basically any heart containers and heart pieces in the pool have been converted to those green 20s since we are capped at basically this amount of health for this particular item setting.
And Rywek about to get his go mode. And once you see this, you can't be feeling too good.
Yeah, you really can't. It's, at this point, this is pretty much last location for him. And, he pretty much knows that any type of divergence that could have put Linlinlin at its location earlier is not really looking good for him. So, but he still has to progress, see what he can do. Because he really truly doesn't know what's going on in this race right now. So, got to kind of keep things moving. Just on that off chance that, maybe my opponent also last location this.
Right. Yeah, you definitely keep playing until you see that done.
Yep.
Linlinlin, unfortunately not making it behind Trinex to kind of get those quick kills in, but still making real quick work of the two heads there.
And there we go. Trinex is down. So, with his 7th crystal in hand, Linlinlin will be making his way over to Ganon's Tower. If you've been part of these races before, you know what's coming up next. Unfortunately, the SpeedGaming bot that we use to play the big key guessing game is not in function anymore, but, just for fun, go ahead and get your guesses in with where you think that location is going to be, 1 through 22. So, we'll see where that big key ends up being.
As a viewer, I like to, be rude, and since this seed was already rude enough to these runners, let's just go for 22. Let's go for tile room.
Okay, then. I'll just say, 21. I'll be just a little bit lenient.
21 is always fun because as you're opening that last chest, you're like, oh man, it's tile room.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Linlinlin doing Hope Room first, not finding a small key, so I want to see Linlinlin head left side here. Check number 3 is a small key, so we can say Rip Bob.
As Linlinlin starts the big key hunt, Rywek gets his 6th crystal, now has to head back up to Death Mountain. We'll pick up the ice rod along the way as it's on the floating island, and then he'll be working on Turtle Rock.
Chest 4 through 7 not yielding much of anything.
And you know, in retrospect, this was a seed where, you know, if there was an item that we needed in a dungeon, it was in a pendant dungeon.
Right.
I feel like Crystal Dungeons did not give us anything today.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single item of value in any of the crystals except for Half Magic and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so...
And I believe one of our bottles came out of pod.
Wait, was Quake the medallion for Meyer?
Oh, it was.
Okay, so that's one. Okay. So that was, like, I think the one, like, actual progression item there.
Right, so we're 13 checks in and have yet to see that big key.
As Rywek picks up his ice rod.
I guess now technically Rywek is in go mode.
Right. I try to see it as, like, if you know where an item is, I mean,
Right.
you're in go mode.
You're in go mode at that point, absolutely.
Who doesn't quite get the quick kill on Ice Armos.
Yeah. Alright, so we're up to 17.
So that, you know, 21 is becoming pretty likely, even 22 becoming more
Yeah.
likely as well.
Alright, and Linlinlin heading into these last 4 checks before tile room. And there it is, number 18.
Not quite 21, but, you know, basically the same amount of coverage as 21 at this point, so... So with this, Linlinlin just has basically execution left for the rest of the seed. Just needs to make it to the top of the tower. Not looking for any more items, any more keys. Has half magic, so, you know, pretty much ready for the Ganon fight.
There's not a single thing you could find in a chest that would help you at this point. You know, even on the tower climb, if you still needed Tempered Sword, you would definitely see runners opening the chests on the way.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's no silvers to be found, no gold sword to be found.
Yeah, and at this point, even if, like, Bugnet's up here, it's like these runners know what they're doing against Ganon. They're not gonna want to use, like, fairies or anything at this point.
Yep. You know, there's an argument that some runners would still open chests hoping for half magic just to make that that silverless fight a little bit less stressful, but again, we already have half magic.
Yep, so that takes that off the table.
Linlinlin going pretty heavy with magic usage here. Pretty sure that blue potion is still in that bottle for Linlinlin, so he can afford to get pretty aggressive in Gauntlet here.
You know, looking at how this will progress here, I mean, Rywek is, you know, at least going to be in Ganon's tower by the time Linlinlin reaches Ganon, so,
Yeah.
made up still some really good time despite checking almost everything before the red cane ran out of possible locations where it could be. So still managed to keep it, at least somewhat close within a dungeon's worth of time here.
And Rywek finding that key on the second laser bridge chest, and again, not even bothering with any of the others. Yeah, you missed a fun one there, Torin. Now, while it ended up that finishing all the dungeons was not necessary, there was progression in both Pod and Skull Woods, and Aghanim was required, so the seed led itself to an all dungeons clear pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. He pretty much needed to get in the Palace of Darkness to even get the hammer to logically put us on that left side of Dark World.
Yep. The hammer and Pod leading to the hook shot and hype cave to get across in the vanilla intended way.
Yep, and then having our first glove upgrade inside pretty much the last chest in Skull Woods. And Moon Pearl was on Lumberjack Tree on top of that, so... Ooh, nice triple from Linlinlin right there.
Yeah. Ooh. Followed by a 0.
And another 0.
Aga 2 not playing very nicely right here.
And with how the real clone is kind of synced away from the other clones, like, kind of hard to even get more than just one shot on Aga, but does get him down.
So it also appears that initial triple only counted as a double.
Oh, okay.
Did look like a triple, but...
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Linlinlin is out of the Aga 2 fight as Rywek starts looking around for his big key, so... again, just kind of a dungeon of difference between these two. A big dungeon, no less, but still a dungeon.
And we are seeing Rywek mirror back out to go right side with those 3 keys, so... he'll get his big key a little quicker than Linlinlin did.
And, this could be actually a play by Rywek, seeing that, my opponent is not done yet. So, maybe we were closer than I think we were, and I could be using this as a way to maybe save some time, get the big key potentially a little faster. Little does he know, Linlinlin is about to finish up here, but still could have been his thought process when choosing this route.
We see Linlinlin entering phase 3 of the Ganon fight here. From here on out, pretty much a free fight. Silverless Ganon, a lot of runners take a little bit of time to first learn, but once you're used to it, it's generally not too bad. I'm going to see Linlinlin do 12 spins on Ganon. As we see Rywek about to head into his gauntlet climb. I'm having a little trouble in that phase 4, but still makes quick work of Ganon. So unless Linlinlin happens to fall off the bridge, get your GGs in chat for Linlinlin.
Indeed, it looks like Linlinlin will finish up this race in first place with an official race time GG time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 18 seconds. And with that, will clinch their spot into the bracket stage of this tournament.
Actually, looks like we are joined by Linlinlin now. GGs.
It is. That was a scene.
That was the first thing I was going to ask, was just your general reaction to that seed.
I mean, I got early was kind of a given, like a lot of swords, lamp, and stuff. At this point, I'm okay, and I'm getting the hammer and pod, and there's an item on how mine is green pendant. Even though I got a hard refill in the dark maze, I felt like I kind of had to do it, so I just did it. It wasn't anything. So you go south, the only thing you get is a hookshot. And you're like, huh, guess I'll go to my 2 other pendant dungeons.
Yeah, as soon as we saw that hookshot in Hive Cave, we're all speculating, our first glove could be on pedestal.
And then when I was between Skullwoods and T-Stone, the reason I went to T-Stone was just these more items.
Right. And of course, Thieves Town has absolutely nothing.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, the last item you get is in the Maiden Cell, and at this point you have like the 2 items in Skullwoods, sick kit that you got a bottle from I don't know where, somewhere in pod, or I don't remember getting it before I got.
Yeah, I think it was a pod.
And then the powder. Did I have the powder? No, that wasn't Skullwoods. This one wasn't Skullwoods, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think there was
the
that one. Yeah,
the powder, like Gina that I orphaned, and the pedestal. At this point, it's like the chance of pedestal is still pretty high. You kind of have to commit to it, and then even then, when you get to the back of Skullwoods, there's a 50-50%. There's a 50-50 that the item is just on moth, and I already have 2 pendants, so I'm like, guess I'm just killing moth, and then the item is not on moth. You're like, okay, fine, I'll grab the one under the bridge, and then it's the glove, and just go to the mountain at this point. Since you just got a nice escape from the pedestal, I feel like, and you don't have the mirror yet. That's the thing. You don't have the mirror yet, so you kind of want to do Spike Cave now that you don't have the mirrors in a Naga seed. So like you don't just get to the pyramid.
Right.
That's why I did it right away when I climbed, and then just the hunt for the cane.
Yeah, this scene was a little brutal, to say the least. And yeah, you mentioned that you had orphaned Agina, and there were some people in chat wondering why you hadn't checked that after Checkerboard Cave.
Okay, I was already planning my route and I forgot. That's the only reason. I realized when I was in night, so I was like, I was checking because I used the map tracker. I checked it and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I mean, whatever. The plan was actually to do purple chest into Agina as a backup. I mean, the whole finish chain into Agina, but I found the cane first.
Yeah.
Because I was out of Ice Palace already in the Dark World, and I figured if I save and quit here, I'm on the pyramid, then that makes me that puts me closer to Gravid Ledge and Catfish. I wasn't sure I was gonna do Catfish from Gravid Ledge. I was thinking about another route, but hey, the cane was here, so.
Yeah, I mean, and that was mainly the big difference between either you or Rywek taking this race was you just happened to find red cane at Graveyard Ledge where Rywek decided to gamble and see if he could find it in Misery Mire. Of course, didn't find it, and then all but last location, Graveyard Ledge, doing the Smith Chain, went and did Catfish before Graveyard Ledge because Rywek also had not checked the Zora locations.
I thought about doing Mire. There were a lot of choices in front of me after Ice. I mean, I was really doing Ice before going to Caneless Mire, and because I know Rywek also loves Ice, so I wasn't letting that go. Like, I wasn't trying to look for the cane before going into Ice because I know he's gonna make the play. I mean, I've played Warwick a few times already, so I know he's gonna make that play. So there was no way I was trying to get my cane for Ice Palace to make it faster.
Yep. And looks like Rywek did just finish with an official racetime.gg time of 1:50:02. So get your GGs in chat. And we also have Rywek here with us.
Hey.
GGs.
GG, Linlinlin.
GGs.
You deserve this one. Fine, I'll concede. I'd rather forfeit and give him the win. No! No, you did well. You did good. I did play my best.
That's it was kind of awful. Like, I saw you pulled pet already as well. I mean,
I think we had this very similar routing.
Yeah,
up
really?
Until the red cane, I guess.
Yeah, your routing before going to Aga was mostly similar. You did things in a little bit slightly different order, and Linlinlin did do the Zora checks. But after that, the only real route divergence didn't happen until you both picked up the flute. Because Rywek, you went straight into Ice Palace after picking up the flute, and Linlinlin opted to save and quit, go activate the flute, and do Desert. And then really after that, you guys kind of converged as you were finishing up Crystal Dungeons, not finding that red cane, and you went into Mire, and Linlinlin opted to do some overworld checks, and really that was it.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think I'm just gonna go visit Hobo for a third time now.
Oh. Hey, you were just checking up on him, making sure.
Oh yeah,
all right.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I even said, I was like, he's checking Hobo. I was like, I thought he already did, but I must be mistaken. And then, of course, you tried talking to him a couple times, and we're like, oh,
this isn't
yep.
working. I'm like, oh yeah, isn't this where I found Bombos? And then probably not. But
No, I don't think it was Bob. I think it was actually a 300.
Yeah, I think he had.
it was a 300. Oh god, that's true. That is true. And I was so annoyed because, dang it, I just left the Zora region.
Right. I think Linlinlin did the same thing. Checked the Waterfell Ferry first, and then checked Hobo. It's like, oh, hey, there's the money he needed for Azora. But yeah, like, seriously, this seed, like, the interesting thing we were pointing out as you guys were finishing up is that I think there was just one progression item in any crystal dungeon, and I think it was the Quake to get into
the hammer as well, I guess. Pod.
The glove, the hammer.
Yeah.
Well,
those are pendants.
Pendants.
Crystal
Diamonds, yeah. Crystal Diamond, yeah. It was just that. The Quake. That you can't really miss because you're just, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard just grabbing the food without doing swamp on your way, I feel like. And then there's just one item in that, so there's no way you're just doing that.
So yeah, the seed was honestly like funneling you guys into that pedestal check, and then at that point it made perfect sense to go after that. And I mean, there was nothing else on the table until you finally got that glove out of Skull Woods there. So
Yep.
Yeah, I did really like that both of you just committed to the ped play fully, even though you had like all of Death Mountain available. Both of you just said, you know
not
what?
true, not true. I did not get Death Mountain access until after I killed Mothra.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said
couldn't-
earlier,
Oh, right.
there's a 50% chance that the item is a moth. You have 2 pendants already. You have to kill moth here. You have to kill moth.
Yeah, I would just mean like once you killed Moth, you had your 3rd pendant, you got your glove, you save and quit. It's like, I could go to Death Mountain, but I want to pull that ped first, just to spite the seed.
That's the thing. Like
No.
you committed to the 3 pendants.
Right.
You kind of want to have something here.
Right.
You play
That's
to
why
your
you do that
advantage.
before.
Like you assume that your opponent hasn't done the 3 pendants. You play to the advantage that you have. You have one
Right.
check they can't do, so you have to go check it right away.
Yep. And of course, getting rewarded, I guess you could call it, with the cape.
I used that.
I
cave
used it.
nowhere. Oh wait, Spike Cave.
Yeah, Spike Cave. And that's yeah. But like I said earlier, you weren't there yet. You just gotta get up the cape of the pedestal. It was a maggot seed, and you don't have the mirror yet. Just do it.
Yeah. All right. Any final questions for us before we go to the French restream?
I guess really quickly, I'll just ask you, Rywek. So, obviously, you're still fighting. You still got 1 series to go before you either make it or not make it in the brackets, and you're up against a familiar face in the form of Make an X. How are you feeling about that rematch there?
Vengeance. No, wait, that doesn't work. I beat him last time. Redo.
Okay.
Do it again. Another 1-1-1.
Okay,
I swear.
Hey, it works for me. So best of luck to you on that rematch again. And GG's to Linlinlin. You have made it as the first individual from Group AF to make it in the brackets. So good luck to you in that bracket.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so with that, I guess we are going to wrap things up. They're going to obviously do their interview on the French side of the SpeedGaming Network. So I want to thank all of you guys for tuning into this race. It was very enjoyable. Stay tuned for not only the conclusion of this series for this group, but also there's lots of other groups that need to be decided as well. So this week is going to be kind of dedicated to watching as the remainder of the matches from the group stage finish up. Also, thank you to our tracker, Reg, who kept up the tracking in the bottom there. All the items always seem to be lit up at all the appropriate times, so always good to have that tool at our disposal as commentators, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and definitely make sure to give these runners a follow if you haven't already. 2 great randomizer runners. And yeah, I think that about does it.
Okay, well, thank you, Ninjembro, for joining me on this race. It was a lot of fun. Also very crazy to see it play out. And yeah, I guess we'll talk to you guys later.